Tonight, Port Lincoln Council knocks back a loan request from Tunarama. Now what for the iconic event? And why Whalers steelwork saviour made sure to stick with it, even when it looked like the sale would go the other way.
This is Southern Cross News with Tim Hatfield.
Good evening. The Tunarama Festival is in jeopardy for next year, with the Port Lincoln Council last night rejecting a $60,000 grant to inject funds into the event. Committee members presented to Council seeking extra funds, but will only receive $35,000 allocated as a yearly gift.
It's been a staple on Port Lincoln's calendar for over 50 years, but Tunarama's future is now in danger. 2017 has been a dreaded year for the festival, losing $100,000 while disputes continue with past team members. Last night, the Tunarama Committee presented to Council seeking a $35,000 gift plus a $60,000 grant.
We urgently require this as a cash flow injection.
The presentation fell on the back of an independent audit declaring the organisation solvent, but the festival is in desperate need of a boost to make some drastic changes.
We're definitely looking at changing, because that is a comment we have had numerous times. It falls at the wrong time of the year when school's going back.
However, the council was hesitant on granting more money.
You probably wouldn't loan an organisation money that just lost $100,000. I think if you're going to support them with extra funds, it should just be giving them some extra funds to use, because they've dug themselves into a hole.
Councillors adamant more direction is needed.
They're not going to the bank. They're not sure about dollar-for-dollar contributions for loans and grants. They haven't done any historical analysis of achievable profits. And I just feel like they need a bit more work in their finance area.
Acting Mayor Neville Stark surprised by the festival's dire situation.
For it to have lost so much money in the last couple of years was quite a shock to me when I first found out about it.
But the door remains open, Council continuing their $35,000 gift to begin preparation for next year.
Look, I think it'll survive. I don't think the community would let it go.
Jason Kemp, Southern Cross News.
The same company that closed down the Port Augusta power station last year is considering a gas power plant near Adelaide. Campaigners say the government should instead focus on bringing renewable energy to the region amidst another solar project being considered for Port Augusta.
Alinta Energy is drafting plans to build a gas power station north of Adelaide just over a year after leaving Port Augusta for good, renewing calls for the state government to instead support solar thermal power back home.
Or alternatively, they could use their contracting to support the development of solar thermal power station in Port Augusta. They would be supporting their agenda for renewable energy in our state.
Port Augusta's Deputy Mayor says the community is frustrated.
Take of the community, I sense a bit of frustration, a bit of confusion. There's a lot of renewable or power projects going up at the moment. So we've got gas, we've got the solar. There's all these different types of things being put up. There's a lot of talk and not much walk.
In the 1990s, our energy generation was privatised. So that means that it was now everything's in the hands of private companies. And companies like Alinta have shown us that they don't really care about the communities in which they exist. They don't care about jobs or energy generation in our regions.
Yet German company Wearsol Energy and Western Australia's Renew Estate have announced a collaboration to begin a pipeline of solar projects in early 2018, and Port Augusta has been proposed as a site.
I think that's fantastic. We want to be based as a renewable energy hub of South Australia and Australia. And I'm sure there'll be a lot more other companies who want to come and visit Port Augusta and look at our region for that power supply.
Amelia Simpson, Southern Cross News.
Barunga Village in Port Broughton has been named Australia's first provider of a new model for dementia care. The model focuses on the emotions of people living with dementia by replicating a home-like environment.
The Butterfly Household Model of Care recognises the behaviour of people living with dementia is sometimes caused by an unmet feeling.
Be a Butterfly Home means that we have exceptional person-centred care and that feelings matter most. That's our main approach, that we focus on people's emotions.
The facility replicates an old-fashioned home, a home that house members would have grown up in as a child. And with the new model of care focusing on physical and emotional needs, people living in the home engage in everyday activities.
The people living here are so much happier. We have a definite increase in quality of life now. We have a lot more laughter.
By removing uniforms and medicine trolleys, people living in the house are able to form a special connection with the staff members as if they were family.
We've broken up the environment into 2 houses because it's a household model, and we've got bright coloured walls, and staff are a part of the family. There's no them and us barrier.
The go with the flow and home-like environment means there's no structured day, allowing people living here to have freedom and regain independence. It's all about improving their overall quality of life.
And Barunga Village is the first aged care facility in Australia to receive the highest accreditation for the groundbreaking model of dementia care, becoming the first Level 1 butterfly home in the nation. In Port Broughton, Rachel Nell, Southern Cross News.
Broken Hill's Robinson College will soon be celebrating its 50-year anniversary. The CEO says the college has come a long way, and after receiving more funding, things can only get better.
For half a century, Robinson College has offered vocational education and training courses in areas like business, nursing and hospitality.
Through the Department of Industry, Training New South Wales, we've received record funding to support the local community and further region in their training needs. So it's very exciting news for this region.
The college has received over $500,000 in funding in the past month to further help locals get the skills they need to join the workforce and help those already working to upskill.
And that's specifically to build the capacity of the workforce in Broken Hill, so whether people are already working or want to get into the job market, we have funding for that purpose.
The funding will go towards upgrading technology and improving equipment for students. Miss Dottie Mead says after a checkered past, Robinson College is now financially back in the black. And she says the funding options available means the complex will continue to improve for years to come.
And it has a long way to go. So over the next year, you'll notice significant changes to Robinson College.
Celebrations for Robinson College's 50th anniversary will be held next month. Patrick Roinke, Southern Cross News.
Well, stay with us. Still to come in tonight's local news, a one-on-one with Whyala's steelworks saviour on why he made sure to stick with it, even when it looked like the sale would go the other way. The details ahead. Welcome back. Well, Sanjeev Gupta says power generation to make the Whyala Steelworks self-sufficient and help the state is a key priority of his ownership. In a one-on-one interview, he also told our reporter John Hunt that the plant has great potential but is underutilised. But he declines to call himself the saviour of the city and area, saying the real heroes are the workers themselves.
If there are any heroes, they are the people here and the workers here who have gone through extended period of hardship. So they are the ones to salute. I see an opportunity. I'm a businessman. I see an opportunity, which I can fulfill in a responsible way, in a socially responsible way, looking after my people, my workers, my colleagues. So that's what is my formula. Has been everywhere. It will be here as well.
Obviously, it was a hard-fought process. You weren't named the preferred bidder, but at the time you made the statement that you remained passionate about the opportunity, and you said we'll remain willing to step in should the circumstances arise. Did you have an inkling at that time that you might still be worth a chance, that POSCO might not be the done deal?
Even though we made that sort of gracious comment in the press, but actually we were hard at work even then. We didn't stop, we came immediately. I came immediately. The moment we, if you like, lost or got out of the process. And we kept trying, persuading all stakeholders that we had a compelling case. Our case was more compelling. We had a greater desire, a greater passion, and a better plan to execute, and that we would be better stewards of this business. And eventually, when the opportunity or the opening opened again, I think we were welcomed back in because of that.
If we talk about the steelworks now, it's a basic fact. It's ageing. It's, as you said at the press conference today, it's not at that stage where it's profitable. How do we change that? Like, when you walked in, what were the things that you looked and said, we need to change that now?
I think the plants are well maintained and they are good plants. They're not at scale. That's the problem. They are operating, first of all, at under capacity. And a blast furnace you cannot run at under capacity. On the contrary, you need to push capacity. The more you can push capacity with a fixed overhead, the more competitive competitively you can make your product.
It must be a real surprise at the fact that we're one of the largest exporters of iron ore in the world, but we've let the steel industry kind of disappear, and that you try to bring it back to a bit of prominence, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it is quite a tragedy that is exactly the case, that you have all the natural resources and yet you have no industry. It is something which is fixable, and we will try to play our part in that.
Green steel, as you mentioned, it's about recycling is the main effort of green steel. The whole process. How will that fit in around the steelworks? Will we need to make changes to get it to go in, or is there already ways that the steelworks can contribute to green steel?
In terms of recycling, we will look to expand the recycling business for sure. Australia currently exports more than half its scrap generation, so there is an opportunity within that to see how we can use some of that scrap domestically, including perhaps at Whyalla. But that work stream is underway; it's not been finalised yet.
You obviously see that the future for the steelworks and its power is within its own walls, so to speak.
That area has been underinvested in this plant, so that is going to be a high priority item for us. We will invest in that very quickly to reinvest in the cogeneration, to make the generation self-sufficient and hopefully a little bit surplus for the grid.
That was Sanjeev Gupta talking to our John Hunt, and join us for part 2 tomorrow night, where Mr Gupta talks about the future for both the workers and the greater Whyalla community. Well, businesses in the Upper Spencer Gulf will be one step closer to applying for the government's jobs and investment packages after new guidelines were released. The region is one of 10 sites around Australia to have the funding, and it's been called an opportunity for businesses to expand.
An opportunity for growth. Guidelines for the government's jobs and investment packages have been released for businesses in the region to receive a share of $20 million.
Each of the townships in their own sense have had some kind of downturn in an industry or a couple of industries. So this is a good chance to bring in and focus on these industries to build them up again.
Businesses considering an application will need to meet the criteria.
Businesses need to consider it's 4 year major projects, and I think the minimum cost is around about $50,000 for the grant.
Because if somebody's sitting in their workshop or in their training business or whatever it might be at the moment going, gee, I think I should do that particular project, but it's I'm just a bit stretched for cash or whatever, but I can nearly do it. Well, here's the opportunity.
The Upper Spencer Gulf is one of 10 locations around Australia to receive the package. Businesses considering making an application will need to make sure their investment falls within 4 investment sectors, and the government will match their contribution dollar for dollar.
Government's not going to fund the whole deal. And I don't think that's good governance. I think, we need people, as I said, that have got skin in the game, that are actually playing with their own money as well as the taxpayers' money.
Regional Development Australia will be holding information sessions for businesses in the coming weeks. Amelia Simpson, Southern Cross News.
Well, stay with us. When we return after the break, some global exposure for Whyalla's Cuttlefish set to hit the screens on TVs in Germany. The details ahead. Welcome back. Port Lincoln Police are seeking witnesses after a number of break-ins in the area were reported over the weekend. 3 separate incidents, including home invasions and car break-ins, have forced police to step up patrols in the area. Here's Jason with this week's Police Talk.
Port Lincoln Police are on high alert after a crime spree over the weekend.
Police were called to a number of homes that were broken into, where 2 suspects were seen, both men, breaking into sheds and also trying to break into homes in the area.
In 3 separate incidents spanning a 1-hour period, 3 properties were broken into, intruders forcing themselves into homes and sheds on Baltimore Street. Occupants shocked to be face to face with an intruder in their home.
It was very concerning that we have had people confronted in their home. There was one man who did confront the suspects and had an injury to his hand. So police are very concerned, and we certainly will be patrolling that area.
Vandals also damaged a number of cars parked in nearby streets, but police are looking for the same suspect.
We do believe at this stage they are linked. They sort of occurred from between 2 a.m. in the morning through to about 3 a.m. So police are treating those matters at the moment as being linked.
The recent crime spree falls on the back of last week's break-ins to separate businesses.
We have had a couple of businesses broken into. Obviously it is winter, perhaps those gas bottles were stolen for that very reason, heating, but it is concerning. There were also a number of cars, I think about 8, that were gone through, so it's just a reminder again to make sure that you're checking on your security, make sure your vehicles are locked and that you're taking out your valuable items from there.
Police urging the public to report anything unusual. Jason Kemp, Southern Cross News.
Whyala's Cuttlefish is said to be seen by millions of Germans, with a documentary wrapping up filming last week. The filmmakers say it was one of the better experiences of their careers, as they were amazed by the behaviour of the creatures.
It's a long way from Munich to Whyala, but these two cameramen were here to observe our most famous animals. Robert Siegel and Barney Rube have spent the last fortnight at Point Lowly, filming the cuttlefish during the mating season.
Color display, their mating behavior, and also what is unique about this place is that you get so many cuttlefish at one place.
You have so many things happening at the same time that you don't even know where to look at first.
The two were filming for a documentary on the use of colours by animals, which will air on ARD, Germany's public broadcaster. They spent up to 12 hours a day on the job, accumulating over 24 hours of footage.
We observed a lot of mating and stuff, but we only rarely saw this unique behavior, and when I first saw it, I was amazed.
Barney says the thing that surprised him the most was how the cuttlefish managed to thrive so close to an industrial area.
They come here every year, and where's the impact? I'm still a little bit surprised about this fact, and I don't know the answer.
Actually, everyone we met, we asked for something, they would help us and were very friendly and nice.
John Hunt, Southern Cross News.
Turning to local sports news now, and it's been a quiet week around the Spencer Golf as the school holidays come to a close. Patrick joins us now, and Pat, it's been the exact opposite over there in Broken Hill though.
That's right, Tim. Soccer action will be right here at the Broken Hill Soccer Grounds tomorrow night when the association's annual Knockout Cup reaches its conclusion. 3 electrifying finals are pencilled in for the night, but there are only 2 clubs contesting them. Western St Joe's will lock horns in all 3 finals, the A grade, B grade and ladies. Last year, St Joe's clinched victory on a chilly night and will be looking to defend their title and go back-to-back in both the A grade and B grade. In the ladies, West were crowned champions in 2016 and are now eyeing off the silverware for 2017. Taking a look at the A-grade lineups, and St Joe's are sporting some key defenders in Jake Picton, Matt Muscat and Pat Nash. David O'Malley scored in last year's final with a nice volley, so look out for him. Bryant Mitchell, Luca Napoli and Lockie Jepp are all versatile players and will be up to their usual tricks. West will look towards stars like Lyndon Cox, Leighton Raven and Jordan Cox to bolster their side across the pitch. To the ladies, and both sides have plenty to choose from, but look out for Caitlin Bloomfield and Tanya Roberts from West, and Savannah Morris and Tracy Patterson from the Joeys. So be sure to get down here to the soccer grounds tomorrow night for what will be a ripper trifecta of finals. And despite the chilly conditions of the colder months, Broken Hill's local tennis players continue to brave the elements. The winter mixed comp is in full swing. In the recent games, Head defeated Wilson 4 sets 36 games to 2 sets 27 games. Jenny Power was on song, winning all 3 of her sets. In the other games, Yonex just got past Nike and Babolat bested Adidas. Nathan Crabb unstoppable in that match. So, Tim, a fair bit of sport happening around the Silver City at the moment. And local netball is back across the Spencer Golf next week after a school holiday break, and we'll have those results for you next week. For now, though, if you want your sports results on Southern Cross News, be sure to send them through to localsport@sca.com.au.
Good stuff, thank you, Pat. We'll stay with us. After the break, we'll have a look at the local weather for the rest of the week. Welcome back. Turning to the weather now. More showers around today. 17 the top in Port Augusta and 16 in Whyalla and in Port Lincoln. Port Pirie today on 15. Broken Hill windy and also 15. On the national satellite, patchy cloud cover continues to move easterly. Behind it, mainly fine skies on the way. Out on the waters, the winds to 25 knots and to the south. The seas to 2.5 metres and southerly. Sunrise around 7:20. So looking at tomorrow, a fine 17 for Port Augusta and 16 for Whyalla. Port Pirie showers clearing and 15 degrees. Port Lincoln a cloudy 16 and a fine 15 for Broken Hill. Then towards the end of the week it's mainly fine, 17 and cloudy on Thursday with a fine 21 on Friday. In Port Lincoln 17 and 20 for Cleve, Woodton 19 and 22. Whyalla also fairly fine, 17 and 20 to run out this week. Port Augusta 19 and 21. Kadina with 16 on Thursday and a sunny 18 for Friday. Port Pirie with a fine 17 expected on Thursday. Sunshine to wrap up the week and 19 for Friday. Clare sunny and mild 14 and 17. Broken Hill with an overcast 14 on Thursday ahead of a sunny 17 degrees on Friday. And that is the local news for this evening. Don't forget you can stay up to date with us on Facebook and on Twitter. You can also drop us an email. We'll see you back here tomorrow night from 6:30. I'm Tim Hatfield from the Southern Cross News team. Enjoy your evening. Good night.